start with James Ham.
Hey, Harrison. It seems like we've been here before this season and even this week. Just what is it going to take to get this team out of the funk that it's in right now and back on the right path?
It's a tough stretch that we're in right now. But like I've said before, it starts with players, taking responsibility. We're the ones who are out there, starting lineup. We set the tone for the game. As a veteran, I know better. I played in the postseason, and I know that's where we're trying to go. And tonight's effort, speaking just for myself, wasn't to the level that was necessary. And we kind of set the tone to begin the game with, and that's kind of what trickled down for the rest of that first half for sure.
Sean Cunningham.
Harrison, was there anything unique in this game or staggering coming off of the day off? Or is it just the same familiar things that you're seeing game in, game out?
No, I mean, you look at, kind of the first possession of the game. Defensively, they got into us. They pushed us up our spots. We didn't respond. And then offensively, they simply just put their head down. Got to the basket. I mean, they made a few threes, but, we just had to meet force with force. And tonight we didn't do that consistently.
Jason Jones.
Are you in some ways almost stunned by the way this game went, just considering you had a couple of days off and guys were, you think after 4 losses, guys would at least come out and have some force?
I mean, like I said, I think defensively, you look at the way they picked us up, all game really, kind of turning us over, being more physical. We didn't match that intensity. And like I said, I mean, it's about responsibility. I mean, we've been in this situation. I don't know how many times I've sat in front of you guys. I don't know how many times, we've been asking the same questions. And, all I can really tell you is that, individually, we have to be accountable. And, I'm not holding up my end of the bargain at this point.
Marshall Harris.
Harrison, I'm just curious, hear about like revenge games and stuff. Obviously Corey was traded right before the deadline. I mean, it seemed like he was just in kind of his own. I mean, like he had control of this game. Is that the way you guys felt? And what was so effective about the way he was doing things from start to finish?
Yeah, I mean, he had a game going. We didn't really pressure him. We kind of let him play freely. He was able to get shots where he wanted, get to the basket, facilitate for guys, and that level of comfort allowed him to have a good game.
Tony Harvey.
Yeah. Also, Harrison, if you don't mind, Isaiah Stewart also had a phenomenal game. If you look at it like that, of course they didn't have Mason Plumlee, and I wouldn't say that this guy came out of nowhere and stuff, but he had a pretty decent game. Could you just comment on what he was doing and how he was hurting you guys, actually?
Yeah, I mean, we rely on Rashawn to clean up a lot of shots. And, I think every time that Rashawn went to go contest a shot, we didn't crack down, on the weak side. I mean, that's what allowed him to have the game that he did. I mean, obviously, he's a young up-and-coming player. But, as a group collectively, if we ask Rashawn to go out and block shots, we ask him to be our anchor defensively, we have to cover up for him. And tonight we didn't do a good job of that.
Matt George.
Harrison, based off my understanding of this roster and its personalities, we know this team gets along and gels really well together in the locker room, but there's been questions of whether or not this team needs someone to kind of step up and really be that vocal, aggressive leader to light a fire under the team when struggles like this are happening. Is there someone like that in this locker room, and do you think this team needs something like that?
I mean, at the end of the day, Matt, this group has won games playing the right way, playing consistent basketball for 48 minutes. And at this point in time, if we're 20 games out, potentially trying to make the playing game, and we need somebody to vocally motivate us down after losing 4 straight games, I'd be interested to know who that is. I mean, it must be the greatest motivational speaker of all time. At the end of the day, we're all professionals. We have 48 minutes in a day to focus and play this game. And when we come out with the effort that we did tonight, it doesn't really matter who's saying what? I mean, our actions speak louder than our words.
Ron Cunningham.
And Harrison, you as a veteran in this league, I know, look, any team is capable of beating anybody in any given night, but when you lose consecutive games to the statistic, the record-wise worst teams in this league, do you want that to bother your team?
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, you're trying to play for something. And at the end of the season, you always look back at games and say, well, what happens here? What happens there? Did we catch fire? Did we catch some rhythm at the end and say, okay, we missed it by 3 games, i.e. last season or however many games it was. So, when you look at these last couple of losses, in the way in which we lost, it's disappointing because we've shown that we can be better than that. I mean, we've beat Detroit earlier this year when they had their guys, and tonight we had a letdown.
Jason Anderson.
Hey, HB. You mentioned a minute ago, actions speak louder than words. I just wonder, is there anything behind the scenes that's either being said or done that gives you a belief that you guys can snap out of this and then get back on the right track?
Jason, all that stuff stays within the house. We've had plenty of conversations and dialogue. We know this is unacceptable. The effort and performance. I mean, if a team comes out and plays phenomenal, we play hard, and it just doesn't go our way. That's one thing. But looking back at these past couple of games, we know that that's not the case, and we have to play with a level of respect for each other, for our coaching staff who puts in the time to scout, and just for the game, not to have that type of performance.